Namaskar and a very good evening to all the lovers of Indian cinema, especially the lovers of film music. Friends, cinema has been very close to the heart of every common man in India, and music has been an integral part of Indian cinema. It is through this music that a wide array of emotions have been expressed, which we human beings otherwise explicitly generally don't express. And that is why music and the lyrics of the beautiful songs that Indian cinema has given us has a special place in our hearts. Several music composers, singers, and lyricists have enriched Indian film music. Of all these lyricists who have contributed immensely to make Indian film music rich, one of them is Anand Bakshi. On behalf of International Festival on Spiritual India, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this special session, Eternally Ours, Anand Bakshi. Join me in welcoming Rakesh Anand Bakshi with a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I must first say thank you to all of you for coming here because I think I'm immediately reminded of two things when it comes to you giving your time and coming here for this event and to know a little bit about my dad. Bill Gates says that I have all the riches in the world. There's only one commodity I can't buy, that's time. And on the flip side, my father used to always say, when my father turned 69, on his 69th birthday, they asked him, who do you credit all your success to? And he said, Waqt. मैं वक्त का मुरीद हूँ. I'm a fan of time. Time has been kind to me, and I'm only here because of time. So that immediately came to my mind. I thought I must share that with you. Because you all have given your time to come here, so I wanted to bring this up and say thank you to all of you.
To begin with, Anand, Rakesh, besides being Rakesh Anand Bakshi, I feel you have got your own body of work. You have your own identity. And I think Renu has talked a lot about what you are currently doing, but I just want to know, did you ever feel that you should carry forward the legacy of your father as a lyricist, write lyrics for films? And like currently, whatever you are doing, you are already an established script writer, you write, you are a fitness freak, you are a sports person. How does Bakshi Sahab as a father or as an artist influence you and inspires you in what you do?
So to begin with, they have given me a title called author, but I just personally feel I'm just an explorer. I love to explore people. I love meeting people. I'm a very, very curious person when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendship, when it comes to, why people do what they do, where do people reach where they reach, how do people reach where they reach. So I'm basically an explorer of people, their journeys, their lives, and I happen to explore them in words, so I'm an author. And as for writing, I didn't want to be a writer. Actually, I didn't want to be a lyricist or I didn't want to be a poet. But people have made me always feel कि अरे तुम गाने नहीं लिखते, तुम आनंद बख्शी के बेटे हो, तुम गाने लिखते हो, ऐसे तुम गाने नहीं लिखते. I've been hearing it since childhood, and even when I grew older, when I got into business and stuff like that, everybody was shocked. I'm in business. You don't write songs, so I always felt complexed growing up, and even as an adult, when my business didn't succeed, when my business failed, when my marriage failed, when I could not make a film for about 8 years, trying to make a film, I always felt. Everybody's always been shocked by the fact that I can't write. I'm not a lyricist like my father is. What am I? I was like really lost. But when I happened to write a book called Director's Diaries, where I interviewed almost 40 directors, eminent directors of India, of Bollywood, and when I studied their journeys and I spent about 7 to 8 hours with each director and spent time with them talking about their lives, I realized the reason why I can't write songs like my father is not because I lack talent or skill or hard work. It's just that I didn't have the experiences my father had while he was growing up. Because when I met the directors and I met the radio jockeys, I wrote a book on radio jockeys subsequently. I realized कि there's nothing, मेरे में कोई कमी नहीं है. There's nothing wrong with me. The fact that I can't write lyrics like my father, I didn't have the bachpan of Rawalpindi. I didn't have the parents and sisters and siblings and neighbors and the geet and the lok geet and the sangeet of that period, of that environment, that neighborhood. I grew up in Bandra. I studied in a convent school. My thought process in English. How will I be able to write कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना, you know, or any of the songs, because I don't think in Hindi. In Hindi, I think in English. So writing was because also because my business failed. I was not able to make a film. So I thought, okay, let me write a book because I loved writing as a child. So I became a writer because I wanted to remain relevant in the world. I thought if I don't, my business has failed. I'm not able to make a film. If I don't even write what I love doing, since I was a kid, I used to write poems, I used to write comprehension. All the kids in the building used to come to me to write their comprehension in school. Make comprehension likhna hai, Rakesh to likh ke dega, Tabu to likh ke dega, and I should write the comprehension for them. So I remember as an adult, when I could not make a film, that what, I should like writing, I wanted to write a book. So, and what do I know best in the film world? Director, because I was an assistant director to Mr. Subhash Ghai. So I thought, let me write books because that's what I like doing. So I became a writer, an author only because, number one, I loved writing. Number two, I wanted to be relevant in the world. I wanted my family, especially my nephew nieces who love me, to know me more than as Dabu Mama, as Anand Bakshi's son. I wanted them to know me as an author of my own. So that hunger to be loved by a family, that author to somewhere tell people, okay bro, I could not be a lyricist like my father, but you know what, I can be a writer and I can do something different and as good, but different, is the reason why I became an author. And my father, of course, inspired me a lot.
I remember listening to one of your interviews, Rakesh, in which you said that you always looked at Bakshi Sahab as your father until he was there. So he was a father to you, but a lyricist to the world. And you said that it was only after Bakshi Sahab's demise that you started exploring him as a lyricist and started exploring his body of work and started discovering him as an artist.
Lyricist, yeah.
So how was this journey or the process of reinventing somebody whom you knew as a father during his lifetime, and later you started looking at him as a lyricist? So how was the experience?
Well, the reason why I started exploring my father's life as a lyricist was because I was not a great son when he was alive. It's only when he passed away and I came across hundreds and thousands of people across the world, not just India, from obscure countries, on Facebook, thanks to social media, they would tell me about the songs he wrote, Mukhra he wrote, or Antara he wrote that changed their lives. I felt, my God, I know him as a dad, I don't know him as a lyricist. So let me start exploring my father's lyricism. Let me start hearing every song that he's written. And over the last 20 years, I heard almost 3,000 songs out of the 3,500 songs that he has written, only to know him as probably try and know him as well as the fans know him. Because I always felt I could not be the good son, the great son that he had wanted me to be, or any father would want his son to be. So I thought, this is my chance, this is my opportunity to give back to my father, through understanding him as a lyricist, not just as a dad. So that's the reason why I got to know him better. I got to know his songs better. I met a lot of people who told me a lot of stories about him. So I actually discovered Anand Bakshi only after he passed away. And I just hope that people don't discover their parents after they pass away. I hope you can discover your father, your brother, your sister, your nephew while they're there, while they're around. They should know, or you should know them. You should understand them. Because I used to always feel, my dad doesn't love me enough. He's always in his own world. He's always thinking of some other things. But when I became a writer myself, I realized, my God, my dad loved me like crazy. But the fact that he was detached was because it was a requirement of his job, his profession, to be able to switch off from his family, to be able to switch off from the world he's living in, and transport himself into the world of the film, transport himself into the world of the characters.
Yes. So does it mean we fail to connect with people when they are around us?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, in fact, there's an Antara Bakshi Sahab which is now become one of my favorite songs of Anand Bakshi. There's a song in Balika Badu where the protagonist sings it to the girl and he says, "Bade अच्छे लगते हैं ये धरती, ये नदिया, ये रहना और तुम." And in that song there's an Antara where he says, "हम तुम कितने पास." The heroine is sitting next to the hero and he's telling her that हम तुम कितने पास हैं लेकिन हम तुम कितने पास हैं कितने दूर हैं चांद सितारे, मन को लेकिन झूठे लगते हैं वो सारे, सच्चे लगते हैं ये नदियाँ, ये धरती, ये रहना और तुम. I realized at that time that my father was telling me that the people next to you are the ones who you need to love and understand and are important. We chase stars. We chase people we can't even touch. The clouds and the skies and the stars and the but what about the one next to you who loves you, who's married to you or born to you or you're born to, and we don't give these people the जो बाजू में वो जरूरी है यार, जो इतना दूर है जिसको तुम छू भी नहीं सकते, उसको क्या प्यार देना इतना,
I think this is something.
When I understood this, this became one of my dad's favorite songs for me.
Yes, probably this is what we want to convey through our session also when we say eternally ours, Anand Bakshi. Let us, yes.
So when I came across this session, eternally yours, I was wondering, abhi yaar, मैं इधर क्या करूँगा? Eternally yours में what I know about spirituality. I know a lot about spirituality, but I'm not in a position to speak about spirituality, even on behalf of my father. So I just thought the incident that immediately came to mind was, when you say eternally yours. So about a few years back, I was, relaxing in my balcony, and I happened to hear a familiar dhun, which I had heard maybe when I was in my teens, and it was a young man selling flutes, walking on the street, and he was playing a song Mere Naina Sawan Bhado Phir Bhi Mera Man Pyasa. And I was amazed that this guy selling flute, playing this dhun on his flute, walking by my street in shabby clothes, no chappals in his feet, is playing a dhun which is like 40 years old probably. So I told the security guy कि इसको ऊपर बुलाओ. I called the security guy up. I called the flute seller up and I told him कि तुमने ये तुम धुन बजा रहे थे ना, ये मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी. And I didn't tell him I'm Anand Bakshi's son. I just said मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी ये धुन, and I gave him $50. When I gave him $50, he opened his his bag of his flutes and he offered me a flute. So I said, I don't want a flute. I'm just so happy to hear a song after so long and you're playing it so well. I wanted to just gift you. I was happy. I wanted to gift you this money. He said, नहीं आप मेरे को अगर 50 रुपए दे रहे हैं, I want to give you also something. And he gave me a flute. I was so touched by his gesture. Okay, he's not a fokatia. He's not a guy who's looking for freebies. He's actually trying to give me something what he feels is the worth of what I'm giving him. So I was so pleased by him. I told him, you know what? ये तो तुम धुन बजा रहे थे ना? ये पता है किसने लिखी है? He said नहीं. अच्छा देखो मेरे घर के बाहर नाम लिखा ना, इसने लिखी है. So he had no clue. He could not read. He was illiterate. So I said ये आनंद बख्शी लिखा है इंग्लिश में और उन्होंने ये गाना लिखा है. अच्छा तुमको पता है ये धुन किसने बनाई है? He said नहीं. I called him inside my house. I took him to my living room and I opened an album where there were photographs of all Lakshmikant Pyarelal, R.D. Burman, H.D. Burman, Kalyanji Anandji, film stars, singers, Asha, Lata, and I started turning the pages and I started telling him, ये जो धुन तुम बजा रहे थे ना, ये R.D. Burman है, इसकी धुन है, ये गाना इसका है. You know what he was doing? Every time I was pointing out these so-called legends to him, he would touch the photograph and do this. When I showed him my dad's photograph, he touched the photograph and he did this. So when he was leaving, I asked him कि तुम ये photograph को तुम ऐसा क्यों कर रहे थे? He said, साहब, इनकी वजह से हम 2 वक्त की रोटी खाते हैं. So for me, that is the day I realized what a legend means. I used to always wonder why do people call them legends? I feel today that a legend is someone who leaves the body of work behind him. Even after 30 years, his work feeds a poor man on the street 3 times meal.
So that is a connect that we are actually talking about, a human connect. A connect that gives you a purpose of life, and as you said, maybe bread and butter even for some people, right? I think we should have a small glimpse of Bakshi Sahab's work. May I request Tanuja ji to present a small glimpse of a song from the film Great Gambler, obviously written by Bakshi Sahab and music composed by Pancham Da, very beautifully sung by Asha Bhosle. I think in the meantime, the song is ready. Do you remember Bakshi Sahab getting nostalgic, ever telling you about how he got attracted to poetry, how he got attracted to this craft of expressing in terms of word? Did he ever talk about it to you?
He was always nostalgic. That's the reason why there was very few moments that we could really spend with my dad, because he was always nostalgic, because he was always living in a world that was cut out from the world of the family, because of course he gave us everything. He gave us so much love, so much affection, And but the fact is that when it's a profession and he's working from home, he's writing all the songs from the bedroom. Cooker की सीटी बज रही है, हम लोग लड़ रहे हैं बच्चे, पोस्टमैन आया है, उसका साइन करना है, रजिस्टर्ड डीडी. आई मीन वो ये सब चीज़ें हो रही हैं, खाना पक रहा है, दाल कड़ी बन रही है, एंड देयर माय फादर इज राइटिंग अवे. सो ही हैड द पावर टू स्विच ऑफ, सो ही वाज ऑलवेज nostalgic, always in a different in a mood of his own. And but I do remember that he used to tell me that when he was in the army, he used to watch Hindi films, and he used to come back to the barracks, and he used to rewrite all the songs of the film, because now he knew the story, he knew the situations. So he used to come back to the barracks and rewrite all the songs of this film in his own language, in his own words. कि अगर मैं इस फिल्म का गीतकार होता तो मैं क्या लिखता. So that was actually became his training ground for becoming a lyricist and a writer. But the source of all that was singing. He was fond of singing.
He was fond of singing. Yes, he aspired to be a singer.
Yeah, he aspired to be a singer, and the shock of singing put into him the shock of writing.
Yes.
So he used to write poems of his own, and then he used to sing them, to his mates in the army, and those So when his mates used to tell him कि यार बख्शी क्या लिखा तूने यार, तू इधर क्या कर रहा है, तुझे बॉम्बे जाना चाहिए, तू इधर टाइम क्यों वेस्ट कर रहा है, सोल्जर, you should go to Bombay, तू गीतकार बनना चाहिए. So that fired his ambition. But the reason why he came to Bombay was, of course, he came to Bombay to become a lyricist and a singer. But one of the reasons why he came to Bombay was also because when he was in the army, he was married, and he had a daughter. The first child in the family was a daughter, and he remembered that his grandmother used to always tell him कि लड़कियाँ अच्छा नसीब लाती हैं बाप के लिए, कि जब तेरी लड़की होगी ना वो तेरे लिए अच्छा नसीब लाएगी, because daughters bring good luck. So he said, and my dadi used to always tell me that daughters bring good luck. So this is a sign, the fact that my daughter is born in my house, first child is a daughter, this is a good sign that agar main Bombay jaunga, I'll succeed.
Something will work for him. Yes.
Work for him. So the fact that my daughter was born, my sister was born, was for them a sign that, bro, go to Bombay. You're destined to become a writer.
Yes.
So that's where he began his journey.
But the initial days were really very difficult for Bakshi Sahab.
I mean, very, very difficult. Let's hear a song she's waiting to sing.
जिसके लिए है दुनिया दीवानी, या है मोहब्बत या है जान। Thank you.
Rakesh, I came across a few lines written by Bakshi Sahab, which say, सन्हा ये मेरी जिंदगी सह गई, मैं यहाँ आ गया वो वहाँ रह गई। लोग कहते हैं तकसीम सब हो गया, जो नहीं बांट सकी चीज़ वो रह गई। याद पिंडी की आती है अब किस लिए, मेरी मिट्टी थी झेलम में वो बह गई। He was a very rooted person, deeply rooted in the place where he was born, where he spent his early youth. And I feel it was very painful for him leaving Rawalpindi and moving to another place after partition. So that connect, I feel that connect reflects in many of his songs. For example, Chitti Aayi Hai, from the film Naam.
जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं,
जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं. Then talking about the song from दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, the song which says घर आजा परदेसी तेरा देश बुलाए रे, तेरे गांव की मिट्टी है अनपढ़ पढ़ नहीं सकती तेरी चिट्ठी, वो चिट्ठी मत लिखो तुम खुद आओ. Very beautiful. I feel that was a song very close to him. So what would you say about this connect he had to his place? I think that was something very beautiful, and I feel this is something that we are actually talking about, a spiritual connect.
So before we go into this very pertinent part of his life and very emotional part, I would like to just give you a jhalak of Anand Bakshi, the father and the human being, beyond the lyricist. So I was in college and I fell in love, and my father came to know about कि इसका चक्कर चल रहा है. He called me and he said, तेरा कुछ चक्कर चल रहा है क्या लड़की के साथ? तो ऐसे नहीं, इसे नहीं देखा. Somebody said XY saw you and you're having an affair or something. So I said, there is a girl I like and this and that. He said, टांगे वांगे तोड़ दूंगा तेरी, ये सब बंद कर. You are not of an age to be in love. This is the age to study. So I said, Dad, what are you talking? आपने क्या गाने लिखे हैं ये all these romantic songs, you know, and जब हम जवां होंगे जाने कहाँ होंगे लेकिन जहाँ होंगे, and you know आजा 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 तेरी याद आई, and all these दो लफ्जों की ये कहानी. अरे what do you mean टांगे तोड़ दूंगा and तेरे को मरवा दूंगा and all this nonsense, and पढ़ाई का वक्त है. All the songs you wrote, I mean our own son is in love right now. He is saying ये गाने मैंने तेरे लिए नहीं लिखे, ये this songs are not written for my family, ये मैं उन characters के लिखता हूँ मैं. These are not for my family, they are for the characters in the films that I write for. So that's Anand Bakshi. I remember my sister telling me that when she got admitted, when she was in college, when she finished school, he said अभी ये college वॉलेज का क्या फायदा नहीं है, तेरी शादी वादी करा के you know विदा कर दूंगा मैं तेरे को फटाफट. So she said, no, I want to study. He said, ठीक है, you want to study, then there are some conditions under which you will have to study. So he said, बताओ. My sister told, okay, what are the conditions? He said, number one, you will go to college and come back from college. You will not go anywhere from there. You will not go for a movie. You will not go with your friends for pani puri and sev puri and all that. Secondly, I want the full timetable and schedule of an entire year. पूरे साल का मुझे schedule चाहिए. You know. And third, you will not make any of your friends come and tell me कि uncle can we take her out for a party. That's Anand Bakshi. He may write what he may write. दो लफ्जों की ये दिल की कहानी, but when it came to his daughter and his son, he was a bloody daddy.
So you felt that he is busy with his work in the bedroom, but he knew what is going on.
Of course, he knew what is going on. Yeah. In fact, when I was getting divorced, I was so depressed. I was like feeling like ending my life because I felt, oh my God, now the no woman will ever love me. My wife has run away, and my business failed, and I was so depressed. And I was hearing this one song of his, you know, a very emotional song. I was playing it on loop. So he found out कि साला ये आजकल बहुत मेरा गाना सुन रहा है ये particular गाना. The song is a song from I think one Dharmendra film where तेरा सहारा होता मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता तूफान
साहिल मिल गया
होता. It's to do with if I had found your love, my boat would have found the banks. You know, I would not have drowned in the river. So I was hearing the song on loop. I was so depressed. So my dad came and he caught hold of me. He said, "ये तू आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ सुन रहा है ये गाना. I mean, I know you're depressed, you know." But remember one thing, you know, that when you leave something which you feel is not worthy, or if someone leaves something which she feels is not worthy for her, you know, it is as good as, you know, throwing a piece of paper in the kachara. So he gave me a piece of paper. He said, "यो कचरे का डब्बा पड़ा ना, उसमें जरा पेपर फेंक के आ तू." So I took the paper and threw it in the कचरा. He said, "Now tell me one thing. क्या तुम कल सुबह इस पेपर के पीछे जाने वाले हो कि ये पेपर कहाँ जाएगा? ये पेपर कौन से कूड़े में जाके गिरेगा? कौन से डंप यार्ड में जाके पड़ेगा? No ना. In the same way, if somebody has left you, if you have left something, don't follow that person or that, you know, it's gone, it's out of your life. You live your life." So he knew what's happening, though he was in his own world, but he was super sharp.
Yes, and he has written on so many situations. He has a song for every occasion, a very big volume of work, close to 4,000 songs for 638 films. So he has written on every situation, every occasion, on every emotion. And he has talked very beautifully through songs about complexity of human relations. So I think we should listen to a song which was very close to his heart, which he felt was his best work out of all those 4,000 songs. A song from the film Amar Prem, a 1972 release, sung by Kishore Kumar, composed by Pancham Da, which is considered to be one of the timeless classic. So should we listen to the song,
So
Rakesh?
before we listen to the song, you know, you narrated a poem of his about the partition of India and about his sentiments when he went through partition. So there's a very pertinent story about that, an anecdote. When he was 17, the partition of India happened. He was 17 years old, and overnight they were living in a 3-story bungalow in Rawalpindi because his grandfather was the jailer of all Punjab jails in Rawalpindi. All the jails of Punjab came under him. So how powerful he must have been, his grandfather. So in fact, when they came across the border, they came in their own Dakota. And entire Dakota was theirs to fly across, the entire family. That's how powerful they were. But yet they were powerless because they had to overnight leave their home and run with whatever belongings they had. You know, the family had to, you know, put it into their blouses, into their saris, into their pajama kurtas and their shawls, and, you know, in the thailis, and just escape Rawalpindi, you know, because they had to leave. Otherwise, because there was the news that the mohalla is going to get raided and everybody is going to be like looted and killed and whatever. So I remember my dad telling me that जब हमें खबर मिली तो हम लोग ने जो हमारे हाथ लगा, you know, we just grabbed and we ran and we got into Dakota and we came across to India. When they reached India, it's very interesting. When they reached India, so everybody was asked, you know, okay, what did you get? तुम्हारे हाथ क्या लगा? What did you get? Somebody got some bartans, somebody got some jewelry, somebody got some, you know, chuda, the Mangal Sutra, whatever that they could carry in that last few hours that they had to escape from Rawalpindi. So when it came back to my dad's turn, he was 17 years old, and his father asked him, "के तेरे क्या हाथ लगा नंदो? तू क्या लाया रावलपिंडी से?" You know. So he opened this cloth bag, and when they saw what he had carried across the border, when they were running for their lives, running, you know, escaping possible violence, they were shocked. And he told my father, "बेवकूफ उल्लू के पट्टे, तू क्या ले आया ये बकवास?" And when everybody saw what my father had carried across the border, you know, when they were escaping for their lives, it was the photographs of his mother. Because he lost his mother when he was 5. So he told my grandfather, his father, कि मैं माँ की फोटो लेके आया हूँ, क्योंकि पैसे तो हम कमा लेंगे काम करके, माँ की फोटो कहाँ से लाएंगे? You know, from where will I get a mother? So I feel that my father became Anand Bakshi, who wrote these hundreds and thousands of songs which you people and I love, because at 17 this man had the emotion and the heart and the depth to understand that money can be earned again. लेकिन एक अगर माँ की फोटो रह गई,
I won't be able to see her again.
Jhelum
That
ke
was the
piche.
only, yes.
How will I remember her? Because that's the only memory I have is of her face. At 5, how much will a child remember?
Yes.
The only memory he has even till the day he died was his face, her face. Because thank God he had got those photographs. So when I used to be rude to my mother, I used to fight with my mother sometimes, argue like all kids do. I mean, I guess most kids do. He used to always tell me, he used to always tell all of us, ये तुम अपनी माँ से लड़ते हो और ऐसे बात करते हो क्योंकि तुम्हारी माँ है.
Very true. He missed his
तुम्हारी माँ
mother.
जिंदा है इसलिए तुम ऐसे बात कर सकते हो माँ के साथ. जिस दिन ये चली जाएगी ना, तुम्हें पता चलेगी माँ की कीमत.
Yes, because I think he missed his mother a lot, and he always tried to, find that connect. And he has written so many songs. I think the most number of songs that are written on a child and mother relationship,
mother
they are
daughter,
by
by him.
yes, they are by Anand Bakshi. So I think let us listen to the song which talks about a very beautiful philosophy of life. The song that was revered by even the greatest of classical singers like Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi. He said it was so beautifully composed, so beautifully written, so beautifully sung by Kishore Da. I think I should request Vittal to present a glimpse of the song.
Most welcome. Hello. Story behind the song. So this song basically talks about if you're on a path of self-destruction, and if you want to destruct yourself, you know, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your guru, your mentor, your God can't save you. अगर तुम खुद ही अपने जिंदगी को खराब करना चाहते हो, destiny को ruin करना चाहते हो, who can help you, right? So there's a very interesting story is that how the song is written is crazy. So they were in a party, my dad and Shakti Samanta, the director, and R.D. Burman, and my dad loved his drinks, and he didn't like to talk about work when he had his drinks, his red label and his black label. He did, नहीं यार, काम की बात कल सुबह, आज अभी मजे की बातें, दारू की बातें. So Shakti Samanta kept pestering my dad, बख्शी साहब मेरी शूटिंग आने वाली है, आपने मुखड़ा तैयार किया कि नहीं वो स्टोरी का अपना सिचुएशन का. My dad said तू बोल मत कर यार, दारू पी रहे हैं अभी दारू का मजा लेने दे. And the party got over. They were leaving for home, and it was raining like crazy in Bombay. And my dad and R.D. Burman and Shakti Da were standing at the lobby of Sun and Sand Hotel. That was the filmy hotel of Bombay City in the 70s and 80s. And it was raining heavily, and my dad was waiting for the car to come to pick him up. And my dad was a smoker. He loved his 555, and so he lit his 555, and he took the match and he threw it in the, in the rain. और वो बुझ गई वो कांडी, the match. The rain, and he called Shakti Da. He said, यार तू मेरे को शाम से बोर कर रहा ना, गाना 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 सिचुएशन का, लिख मुखड़ा, चिंगारी कोई भड़के तो सावन उसे बुझाए, सावन जो आग लगाए उसे कौन बुझाए. If water is out to create fire, with what are you going to destroy the fire? So that came from just this moment, you know, in the rain. Imagine. So that's the writer who's not going to a mountain for inspiration, not leaving his family and his home and going into the desert and a cave to live a secluded life. The inspiration is there, right there, every single day. There's another crazy incident where my dad and one of his friends, they had the habit of going every evening to have pan. Afternoon or evening, whenever they have the mood of having pan. So they would go to car station. There was a pan walas at car station. They would go there. They would pick up the pan, and then they would have to drive back to Bandra. So when they were driving back to Bandra, they saw this beautiful girl walking by, and my dad or maybe his friend said, "कि यार क्या बात है यार, क्या रुक पाया इसने?" Like we say, "No, why? Wow, good looking, bro." You know. So these two friends talked about this beautiful girl who passed by, and my dad told him, "कि रुक, गाड़ी रोक." And my dad, you know, my dad had a habit when he was not carrying his diary, he used to write whatever came to his mind. He would write on a cigarette packet, 555. He would turn it over and he used to write the mukra कि कहीं भूल ना जाऊँ, you know. Anyway, the evening got over. They went home. After some 3-4 months, they happened to go for the premiere of a film, and the movie started, and the movie was going on, and a song came on screen. And my dad told his friend, and my dad's friend told me this after he passed away. He said, "Your dad in the middle of the premiere told me, hey, तेरे को याद है? हम लोग उस खार से पान खा के निकले थे. बहुत खूबसूरत लड़की चल रही थी सड़क पे और उसने बड़ा अच्छा रूप पाया था. मैंने कुछ लिखा था तब. मैंने पता क्या लिखा था? ये गाना लिखा था. रूप तेरा मस्ताना, प्यार मेरा दीवाना, भूल कहीं हमसे ना हो जाए." Now look where, so the inspiration is there all around us.
Yeah, I remember Subhash Ghai saying in one of his interviews that Bakshi Sahab was very fast in writing lyrics.
Yeah.
It was like धुन बन जाती थी और धुन के साथ बख्शी साहब के lyrics भी तैयार हो जाते थे. So he said he was the fastest lyricist that he came across. So he had a very special connect with Bakshi Sahab. I remember while many people paid tributes to Bakshi Sahab when Bakshi Sahab was no more, I remember Subhash Ghai saying that Mukta Arts, that is his production house, Mukta Arts has lost its soul.
So I asked Subhashi. I said, "Subhashi, you mentioned to me that अभी बख्शी आप चले गए हैं, अभी मैं गाने कैसे लिखूंगा? But there are so many other lyricists you can take to write songs. You know, of course, he was very emotional at that moment, so he said that. But he told me, do you realize that so many of your dad's films, always 99% of his films are written by my dad. Ram Lakhan, Saudagar, Karma, Pardes,
15 films.
Yadein, yeah, 15 films, right?
Yes.
So he said, do you realize how important? I'll tell you how important Anand Bakshi was to my films. ये सब फिल्मों के गाने हिट हैं? I said yes. ये सारी फिल्मों के आप जो नाम ले रहे हैं, सारे गाने हिट हैं. He said, तू मुझे एक बात बता, एक गाना 5 मिनट का होता है, 6 मिनट का होता है? I said हाँ. तो तू हिसाब लगा, अगर 6 गाने फिल्म में हैं, तो बख्शी साहब ने मेरी कितनी फिल्म लिखी? मेरी आधी फिल्म लिखी. जब मेरी फिल्म का आधा राइटर गुजर गया है, तो मैं फिल्म कैसे बनाऊंगा?
Yes, and the repeat value that a movie has is basically because of the songs. Because there are many movies, I think we don't even remember those movies, like, but the songs are still alive.
Like when Rajesh Khanna passed away, when Devanand Saab passed away, what do you play? When Yash Chopra passed away, what do you play? You play the songs, no?
Yes.
You don't show scenes of the hero hitting on the heroine. You show the songs.
Yes, the
So
movies
imagine the value
remember
of
through
the
the
songs,
songs.
you know?
Yes, and I think the same person who wrote Chingari also wrote Peppy Numbers in the 1990s. I think we'll listen to a song from the film Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, just to see the array of what he could write, the complete deviation.
Sure.
I think Tanuja ji should present the song from DDLJ, 1995 movie. Music was composed by Jatin Lalit, and I think he worked with 60 music composers.
Yeah, 62 music composers.
62 music composers.
ऐसा ही कौन है वो जाने कहाँ है हो कैसा ही कौन है वो जाने कहाँ है जिसके लिए मेरे होठों पे आए अपना ही याद आना है वो सर मेरा कोई अफसाना है वो देखे भूल भूल के यूं ही दूर दूर से उससे कहो मेरी नींद चुराए मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए आके मुझे छेड़ जाए उससे कहो कभी सामने तो आए मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए
Talking about ख्वाबों में जो आए, someone who appears in your dreams. I remember my dad used to tell me कि, he used to tell me that if you want to succeed in this world, there are three things you need. Just three things. एक तो तुम जो काम करना चाहते हो, वो काम तुम्हें आना चाहिए. You should know that job. I mean, you can't be a surgeon unless you study.
Without, yes.
Yeah. वो काम तुम्हें आना चाहिए. You should know that job. Second, तुम्हें उस काम की ज़रूरत होनी चाहिए. That need, that भूख कि मुझे ये काम चाहिए या मुझे काम चाहिए. And third, you say वो काम तुम्हारे ख्वाबों में आना चाहिए.
Yes.
You should dream about it. You should be able to dream about it. You should be able to visualize it. You know, it's like my friend over here. She wakes up at 4 in the morning and she calls her staff and tells her, "Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done that?" She dreams about her work. That's why she's successful in her work. So you should always say this: कि भूख बहुत ज़रूरी है ज़िंदगी में. Hunger. You know that I want to do something, man, of my own. I want to achieve something. And you should be able to visualize it. You should be able to see it in your head. If you can't see it in your head, you can't have it in your hand.
Yeah, simplicity was the USP of what Bakshi Sahab wrote. Like, I think in one of the interviews, I listened to one of your interview in which you said that D.N. Madhok and Kavi Shailendra, both of them inspired him to express with simplicity.
But there's another reason behind the reason why he wrote so simply. So when I mean everybody says, oh, Bakshi Sahab's he's said such deep things, philosophical things, emotional things, such simple words. So he's always been complimented for this ever since he came in the limelight. So I remember once they asked him this question that what is the secret behind this genius of yours? You know, you're able to convey such deep emotions so simply in such common words that anybody can understand. You know what his reply was? He said, there is no effort in it. I'm only 8th standard pass.
Yeah.
I only learned a few words in school. And उसी में मुझे जो कहना मुझे उसी में कहना पड़ता है. So what we think is his genius, was actually his limitation which became his plus point.
But there are many songs in which I think he has also used Urdu.
That's because
yes, I think he was very humble. Like, yes.
In Rawalpindi, you study in Urdu.
Yes.
That's
so I
why.
think he has written many songs which have got beautiful lyrics. So like I think he was a lyricist of masses, but some of his songs show that he was a lyricist even of a class.
Yeah,
And
in fact,
yes.
I met, I don't know very many rich people, like super rich people, but I met somebody from the Hinduja family who lives in Switzerland. And when he came to know I'm Anand Bakshi's son, he went crazy. He said, "Hey, tu Bakshi ka beta hai, Anand Bakshi ka beta hai." I said, "Huh." He said, "I'm a big fan of your father." And that is a Hinduja family, so allegedly amongst the richest in the world, complimenting me about my father, you know. And at the same time, when I'm in a rickshaw, I'm hearing a rickshaw guy humming his songs.
Yes. So that is a huge
contrast,
connect, yes.
you know?
Huge connect, yes.
It's not just masses. Even someone who's living in a palace is understanding that because the simplicity of the words, you know.
Yes.
Something that simple touches your heart. There's no escape.
And a career spanning almost 5 decades. He started in 1958 with Bhala Admi, and then 2002, Subhash Ghai's Yaadein.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he remained relevant with changing times. What do you feel is the secret of he being able to reinvent with times?
Yeah, so his thing was कि वक्त के साथ चलो. Go with the times. Don't defy time. Accept time. Time changes you. Time changes things. Accept it. You know, because your relationship change. You know, even fathers have relationships. I remember when I was a kid, my father used to come to my room and tap me to sleep. You know, he used to sing a song, or he used to sing a poem, or he used to just talk. And so I remember that when I used to wake up, he used to run away. He was shy of attention. He was shy of showing affection to his own children. You know, he was not the kind of father you can hug, but he would love you to death. So I remember, I realized very soon as a child, कि यार, when I wake up, the bug runs away. So I used to pretend I'm sleeping because I wanted my father to
To be
take me
close to
sleep.
him, yes.
I didn't want him to go. So I never forgot that when he left Earth, I wanted him back.
Yes. So I feel that is the connect that you shared
So
with
the
him.
connect,
Yes.
I'm come here because I want my father back in my life. I can never have him back,
Yes.
but I can have him through you people.
Yes.
When I talk
So
about
the
him,
connect is still
when I
there.
share about him,
Yes,
yeah.
through his work, through the fans who enjoy his songs. One more thing, like I would like to talk about is like he has played a major role in the making of many actors. For example, Rajesh Khanna, a great teamwork. Kishore Da, Pancham Da, and Bakshi Sahab. Then he played a pivotal role in the making of careers of Dharmendra Sahab. Dharmendra Sahab used to very fondly talk about Bakshi Sahab. I think the highest number of films, 72, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
to be
72
precise, 72 films in which Dharmendra has acted, and Bakshi Sahab has written songs for these movies. I think let us listen to a song picturized on Rajesh Khanna, because I feel Bakshi Sahab was very close to Rajesh Khanna also, because his first super hit, Aradhana, the lyrics were written by Bakshi Sahab. So I think we should listen to a song composed by Pancham Da, sung by Mohammed Rafi from the film The Train. May I request Vittalji to sing this song?
Yeah, so I chose this song. In fact, I requested them that if you can mention this song because this song is almost a bit 40, 50 years old. But even on and I follow Anand Bakshi tag on Instagram. So if anybody tags Anand Bakshi on Instagram, I get a notification. Every month I get a notification from some youngster who's in his or her 20s who sings this song. And I'm like, oh, wow, this song is more than 40 years old and
A
20-year-olds
film,
are
yes.
singing the song in their homes and they're putting it on Instagram. Like, wow. So I said, you know what, let's just have a la 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 la. गुलाबी आंखें जो तेरी देखी शराबी ये दिल हो गया संभालो मुझको ओ मेरे यारो संभलना मुश्किल हो गया दिल में ख्वाब तेरे तस्वीरें जैसे होती बाहर पे तुझ पे फिदा मैं क्यों हुआ आता है गुस्सा मुझे प्यार पे मैं लुट गया मार के लगा रहा मैं कहीं का ना रहा क्या कहूँ मैं दिल हुआ बुरा ये जादू तेरी आँखों का ये मेरा कातिल हो गया गुलाबी आंखें जो तेरी देखी शराबी ये दिल हो गया
Rakesh, can we listen to a song that was picturized on Dharmendra immediately, because Dharmendra ji had a very close connect with Bakshi Sahab. I remember watching a complete documentary in which Dharmendra Sahab speaks elaborately about how he was close to Bakshi Sahab and how his songs helped him to create an identity in this industry. I think let's listen to a song from Jeevan Mrityu, a song composed by Lakshmikant Pyarelal, sung by Lata Didi with Rafi Sahab. as you said, has worked with almost 62 music composers, right from Anil Biswas, Naushad Ji, Shankar Jaikishan, Sachin Da Burman. So, like we can say, he worked with music composers of classes as well as masters. For example, Anu Malik. I remember listening to one of the interview of Anu Malik in which he said that he worked for almost 24 films with Bakshi Sahab, and he said he not only had a professional connect with Bakshi Sahab, but he had a personal connect with Bakshi Sahab. I think that is something that we need to talk about. But he said that he guided me on my professional front as well as personal front as to how he should move ahead in his life. So I think there was something that people around him, people looked forward to learn from him. I think there are many things that people around him have learned from him, probably from his life, from his work. What would you talk about the learnings that one can have from the kind of life that he started with, a lot of struggle, life was not easy for him?
Two things come to my mind immediately is one is personal and one is this thing. So I met a very successful director and he told me that, your father changed my life. So I said, how? I'm very curious to know. I won't tell a story. So he said, I had no work and I came to your father and I said, I have no work. How do I get work, Bakshi Sahab? मुझे काम चाहिए, मुझे काम नहीं मिल रहा है. So he said, your father said something very simple to me. He said, इस दुनिया में there are only two ways to get work. There are only two ways to find a job, to find work in this world. Either you call people or people will call you. Are people calling you? He said, nobody calls me. He said, start calling people. Start meeting 5 people every day or make 5 phone calls every day. And he told me that, Rakesh, I started calling 5 people or going and meeting 5 people every day. And in about 3 months, I landed my second film.
So reaching out to people.
Practical, yeah. Reach out to people. Nobody going to reach out to you. So there are two ways. Either you reach out to people or people are going to reach out to you. So till people don't reach out to you, you must go out and tell people, hey, I'm talented, I have work, I have something to sell, listen to me.
Yes.
And as for learnings, what I learned personally from my father was, now I was in college and I left my breakfast. मैंने अंडा पूरा नहीं खाया, मैंने omelette छोड़ दिया. I didn't finish my omelette and my father told me, तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो? I said, I'm going to college. He said, why haven't you had your breakfast? I said, I'm not hungry. He said, do you know what is the cost of this egg? I said, yeah, must be 50 paisa, 25 paisa, 30 paisa, 10 paisa, something of that sort. He said, तुम जब छोटे थे ना, so we are 2 brothers, 2 sisters. He said, तुम जब छोटे थे, when you were small, your mother used to buy 1 egg. She used to boil it and cut it into 4 pieces so that all 4 of you get equal nutrition. That is the price your mother has paid for 1 egg. Egg might become 2 rupees, egg might become 10 rupees, but for you and your family, the egg will always be the cost your mother paid. She could not have it. She would cut it into 4 and give it to you. That is the bhav of egg. ये एक अंडे का भाव कभी नहीं भूलना तुम. Don't waste food.
So life lessons from him?
Yeah, I never waste food. Even today I was at my friend's house for lunch, I polished the plate. I even licked the tail of the tuk. Yeah, man. I live a very comfortable life. I can be considered wealthy by many people. It's because of him.
Yes,
How can I waste food?
Things didn't come easy to him.
Yeah.
So obviously he
It came with him a lot of difficulty.
Yes, it came.
The first 3 years of his life, he was lying. He used to live at the waiting room of Marine Lines railway station. क्योंकि वहाँ bathroom भी free था और bench भी free था. So he used to go and lie down over there and use the bathroom of the railway station. 3 years he lived there. So that's the reason why you see he knew the price of egg.
Yes.
Which I didn't know because I was born with a silver spoon.
Marine Line Station की बात निकली है राकेश, तो I think we should also talk about the second mother that he met in his life, because
he's an amazing guy. My father made 2 trips to Bombay to become a songwriter. He failed in the first one. He went back. He came back after a few years, and when he came back, he again failed. He couldn't find work, and his savings ran out because he was in the army. He came from the army. He left the army and he came. So whatever money he had made in the army, and he was married at that time, second time. He had a daughter also born. She was maybe 4 months old. So he was leaving Bombay again for the second time, and he thought कि नभी तो मैं वापस जाऊँगा, and if I get back in the army, if they take me back, fine, otherwise I'll become a driver or something somewhere in Delhi Valley. So when he was at Marine Lines railway station trying to find his way back to Delhi, no money. So a railway TC, Chitramal Swarup, caught him. He said, ticket dikhao. My father said, I don't have a ticket. He said, okay, you don't have a ticket, you're on the railway station, pay a fine. So my father said, I have no money for fine. He said, why you have no money for fine? How can you not have any money for fine? You're here, you look like a decent person. He's saying, I have no money, I've run out of money. He's saying, why are you here? He said, I've come here to become a songwriter. He said, Acha, you write songs? He said, yes, I write songs, but I have not found any work. I'm going back to my village, my city, Delhi. I'll try and join the army again. He said, Acha, mujhe kuch sunao. I want to hear something. And he was a film buff. That TC, ticket collector of Western Railway. He heard my song, my dad some few poems he written. He said, yeah, you write very well. Don't go back. You stay in Bombay. You will become a songwriter one day. Because you have written really well. Your poems are very good. So my dad said, but I have no money. He said, don't worry, I'll put you up. Can you believe a complete stranger put up my father at his house, railway quarters, for 3 years, 4 years. And everybody used to give pocket money also. After 30, 40 years, after 50 years, when that gentleman retired, and he never took even $5 from my father in his entire life. My father became Anand Bakshi, we had 3 cars, we've got 2 homes in Maharashtra. He didn't ask my father for 5 rupees कि मेरी बेटी की शादी है, मेरा बेटे का शादी है, मेरे बेटे को स्कूल में डालने का है. Never, he didn't take $5 from my father, that man. So my father, that like an idiot, tried to pay him back. When he retired, the TC, bato mein my dad foolishly told him, yeah, Guru, I used to call him Ustad. He said, अरे Ustad, अभी तो retire हो गया है. अभी तो क्या करेगा? टाइम पास कैसे करेगा? काम क्या करेगा? इसे कुछ करूंगा. मैंने बहुत घूम लिया, इंडिया घूम लिया एज अ टीसी. करूंगा कुछ. तो my dad, like an idiot, told him, अच्छा एक काम कर, तू एक business शुरू कर. He said, business में कैसे शुरू करूंगा? I don't know money for business. He said, I'll pay you, I'll support you. Imagine, a man who has not asked my father for 5 rupees, knowing he's Anand Bakshi, he can give me 5,000 and 50,000. My father is telling him, bribing him, trying to pay the favor back. He told my father, he looked at my father, he said, अब बोला तुमने जिंदगी में कभी वापस ये मुझे ऑफर नहीं करना. Are you trying to pay back what I did for you? I did for you because of love for you. I saw talent in you. I wanted to help you. I liked you as a human being. I decided to take you home. Don't you ever give me such a stupid offer ever again.
So Bakshi sir, yes, he always remembered that he owed a lot
of
to
course.
him.
That's why I try to pay him back. कि तू business शुरू कर, I'll support you, I'll finance it, But he didn't. And it's so strange because I met an aunt of mine who was much older to my dad after he passed away. And she told him that in your previous birth, I told your father that he had died coming under a train. And now in this birth, my father gets a TC who helps him out. So if this TC had not met my dad would have gone back to Delhi and probably taken about a job as a taxi driver.
And would have never become.
I mean, none of us would be sitting here today.
Yes.
I won't be holding the mic here. Look at the debt he owed to that man who didn't even take $5 for what he did.
It took pretty long time for Bakshi Sahab to be recognized. Like he did become popular, right? Like we were talking some time back, he was nominated 40 times.
Yeah, 42 times.
42 times for Filmfare Awards for the Best Lyricist Award. But he managed to get this award only for his 4 films.
Yeah, so I told my dad one day very foolishly, I told him, Dad, you have 42 nominations of Filmfare Awards. How come you have only 4 awards? He said, Kyun? What's wrong? I said, no, I've heard nowadays, people have to do PR. You do PR, you get awards. So my dad said, Acha, PR se award milta hai? I said, this is what people say. I just started my work as a business person. So he said, देखो, ये जो 4 अवार्ड है ना फिल्म फेयर के, ये मैं after I die, I'm going to leave them behind for you to decorate the house. When I'm gone, you can decorate the house, the living room with these awards, and they are decorating my living room even today. I'm very proud of them. But the award which I want, I've already got. So I asked him, what award have you already got? 44 nominations, you've got 24 awards. Which award are you talking about? He said 30 years ago, in the 70s, one man wrote a letter to him. Unknown person from some village. He said, Anand Bakshi Saab, I'm so and so. I live in so and so village, somewhere in UP. और मैं बिल्कुल I'm a young person, I'm a young man. I have failed in life. मैं लाइफ में फेल हो गया, तो मैंने सोचा कि मैं फेल हो गया हूँ, मेरा काम नहीं है, मेरे को कुछ I don't see a future for myself. I decided to end my life. So there is a railway line that runs across my village, near my village. So I went and decided to go to the railway line and lie down on the tracks and end my life. And I went there and I lied on the railway track and I was waiting for the train to pass by when suddenly a song playing in some house close by, the wind carried the song words to my ears, and the words were that I happened to hear when I was lying on the railway tracks was गाड़ी का नाम ना कर बदनाम पटरी पे रख के सर को. There's a movie called Dost in which there's a song called गाड़ी बुला रही है, सीटी बजा रही है, चलना ही जिंदगी है, चलती ही जा रही है. In that is the Antara way, the hero tells that गाड़ी का नाम ना कर बदनाम पटरी पे रख के सर को, हिम्मत ना हार, आज चल हो सवार, आ लौट आए घर को. ये देख रात जा रही है, देखो सुबह आ रही है, गाड़ी बुला रही है, सीटी बजा रही है. Meaning, don't despair. It's dark, it's night. Don't despair. The sun is going to rise. And he's saying, I heard this lyrics and I got up from the railway tracks and the train passed by. So I'm just writing to you, tell you that you don't know it, but you gifted me back my life. So my dad said, that is my reward, which Filmfare can't buy.
And he had a complaint that Filmfare always awarded popular songs. He always felt, even he received a Filmfare award for the film Ek Duje Ke Liye, Tere Mere Beech Mein. But he said, my better song was 16 Baras Ki Bali Umar Ko Salam. So that was very close to him. Let us listen to the song.
Sure.
running out of time, Rakesh. A very big volume of work, 5 decades of work, 4,000 songs, 638 films, 60 music composers. So big volume of work. Probably we need to have more time to talk about him. But the last question to you, I feel Bakshi Sahab took a pride in saying that I'm a lyricist. He said I'm not a poet, I'm not a shayer, because with most of the lyricists, they always said that hum shayer pehle hai, hum kavi pehle hai. And like it was for them a compromise filmon ke liye likhna, because probably, I don't know, they looked down upon writing songs for films. But it was the other way around for Bakshi Sahab. He said the poet is alone. But a lyricist comes with the entire team, the composer, the artists, and everything, the complete orchestration. So he took a great pride in saying that I am a lyricist. Main geetkar hoon, this is what he always said. Writing for films, writing lyrics for films, I think is a very, very challenging job. The reason is a lyricist has to work under many constraints. The situation of the movie, the dhun that the composer composes to set up the mood for that particular storyline and that situation, the expectations of the producers. There are many commercial aspects that are also involved because the producer wants the film to make money. So all these aspects are there, and I feel it is a very big challenge, a big pressure under which a lyricist has to work, and this pressure I think he carried through 5 decades. I feel it must have not been so easy. It is very easy to talk about Bakshi Sahab and his work, sitting like this on the chair. But I feel 5 decades of work, such a big volume of work, I don't think it must have been very easy for him.
Definitely stressed him a lot, and I'll tell you, I was in the hospital. It was the 80s, mid 80s, and my father had suffered a second heart attack. And the doctor came and told him that, Bakshi Sahab, this is a second heart attack. Now I have to put a pacemaker. And you have to stop this pan tamaku and this whiskey and all these bad habits of yours. These bad habits of yours are giving you this heart problem and everything. And he went away. And as soon as he went away, my dad typically in his Punjabi style said, "Beokoof ullu ka patta hai ye." So I said, "Kyun bhai, Dad?" I was very upset with my dad. Why are you calling him ullu ka patta and beokoof? He's a doctor. He studied 5-10 years to become a doctor, and he's speaking the truth. We don't like you having pan tamaku and all these things, cigarette and all. He said, "Ye samajhta hai कि ये पान तमाकू विस्की सिगरेट ने मेरे दिल पे असर किया है। इसी फैक्ट तो ये है कि मेरे गानों ने मेरे दिल पे असर किया है। So that is the amount of emotion that you so see, what he has gone through to write this emotion that so easily have been sung over here is what actually took a toll on his heart, which he admitted that it has taken a toll because I have to feel what the characters are feeling. If I don't feel what they're feeling, where is it going to come from? Because you don't live every experience in life. But somehow you have to relate some experience to be able to write something which you have personally probably not experienced. So it takes a toll on your heart. So he used to always say that, मेरे गानों ने मेरे को दिल की बीमारी दी है, सिगरेट तंबाकू ने नहीं. And to end this on a spiritual note, I remember the earliest spiritual lesson I learned from my dad in retrospect was, I was a teenager and we walked out of a recording studio, and my dad would always hand over his allowance money, petrol allowance money, to the driver, our driver, or to a musician. So I asked him, "Dad, why do you always keep this travel allowance? You get petrol allowance some 20-30 bucks at that time, 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Why do you always give it to the driver or to the musician?" He said, "Beta, ये ना मेरा ड्राइवर, हमारा ड्राइवर और ये म्यूजिशियन जो है ना, ये जब सुबह उठते होंगे ना, ये अपने भगवान से, अपने अल्लाह से प्रे करते होंगे, ये दुआ मांगते होंगे कि आज साहब की रिकॉर्डिंग करा दे यार." He said, "You need dua in life. You don't need just hard work." So by giving my allowance money to this fellow, I earn this dua. शायद मेरी गाड़ी इसकी दुआ से ही चल रही है. That is spirituality.
Yes, because that is what, and I feel I must congratulate Manjiri as well as Bipin for choosing Bakshi Sahab for this session.
My sister.
Okay, yes.
My sister.
Okay, Purnima, for choosing Bakshi Sahab as the symbol of connecting with oneself, so that you are able to connect with people, connect with the world around you, and connect with the life.
And she found me on Facebook, by the way.
Yes. And a very big thank you.
Welcome.
From the entire team.
Thank you for all of you for coming and listening so keenly.
Thank you for connecting with us. It was beautiful talking with you. And I think we end this session with Bakshi Sahab's song, a very beautiful song that leaves a very beautiful message. So we end this session with a spiritual message. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you, Rakesh.
Thank you very much, all of you.
जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं जो मकाम, वो फिर नहीं आते, वो फिर नहीं आते। जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं जो वो फिर नहीं आते, वो फिर नहीं आते। फूल खिलते हैं, लोग मिलते हैं, फूल खिलते हैं, लोग मिलते हैं।